it is very critical for the United States. It's very critical for India. As you rightly pointed out, there's a huge number of Indian student population that go to the US in every year, close to about 100,000 or more. The numbers are slightly coming down because of competition from other centers like Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, Taiwan, just to mention a few. But the fact remains that the bulk of the student population heading out for higher studies is in the direction of the United States. And naturally, there is a concern amongst families as to the spiraling gun violence in the United States. Just to give you a little context, we are only in the 11th or 12th of May, and already the United States has registered 200 instances of gun violence for the year 2023. And we are talking about an average of about 135 plus people dying every day because of gun violence. For example, in 2021, the last year for which the statistics are available, some 49,000 people were felled by guns. Now, close to about 50% of them are from suicides, gun-related suicides. But that doesn't mask the fact that the other 50% is just gun violence. And a lot of it has got to do with teen violence, and that is violence in which teens, little children, are being felled. And what you saw recently in Tennessee, what you saw recently in Texas, are instances in which gunmen, whether they are mentally deranged or not, and for one flimsy reason or another, manage to get into school grounds and take away innocent lives. So there is a lot of apprehension in countries like India that send a lot of people to the United States. For a better way of life, no doubt about it, for a better education. But all of these families want their near and dear to come back in one piece, and definitely not in a casket. There's no doubt about the fact that educational institutions in America are indeed worried about this gun violence leading to a drop in enrollment. You see, that's a very serious issue, because you have to understand that there was a study done a couple of years back in which they found out that international students as a whole contributed some $45 billion to the American economy. And Indian students alone accounted for about 7 or 8 billion US dollars. Now, you're talking about a huge contribution to the American economy. And when you're translating this into jobs, American jobs, you are easily talking about 25 to 30,000 jobs that are dependent on these remittances by students in America. So naturally, everybody is worried, because this is not some small loose change. This is a lot of money. And secondly, you have to worry about the fact that many of the institutions that Indian students go to are premier institutions. Premier institutions that end up providing a very valuable, high-skilled labor to the United States by way of a H-1B. So there is a good linkage there between your students, and then they get into a practical training permit, and then that practical training permit turns itself into a H-1B. The H-1B turns itself into a green card. The green card turns into an American citizenship. But all these things mean that at some point of time, the best and the brightest out of India are going to be looking for schools other than the United States. And that is not good either for India or for America. But right now, in fact, I can give you a personal example. One of my friends who is in the media and currently right now pursuing in law school, she told me that her son is applying for education overseas. And when I asked her the countries, she listed Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Singapore. Then I asked her, why not? Why not the US? She said, sir, I understand that there are very, very good schools, but I'm very worried about gun violence in America. See, that is it. That shows that people are paying very close attention, and somebody like, for example, the young Aishwarya, she was just an innocent bystander in a mall, and she got hit, and she was felled by a bullet from some guy whom she didn't even know, who didn't even know what he was doing. All he did was just take a weapon and spray bullets, killed a few people, turned the gun on himself. That's the end of it. Or in this case, there was a police officer on some other call, and he took on the gunman and killed him. So yes, there is going to be a very big impact if the trend continues.